The Vancouver Canucks have signed their top prospect Quinn Hughes to an entry-level contract, and he's expected to make his debut for the Canucks here very soon. We'll get into the details of the contracts and what this means for the team coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So big news out of Vancouver today. Top prospect in 2018 first round selection, Quinn Hughes has signed his pro contract with the Vancouver Canucks and should be making his Vancouver Canucks debut here very soon, most likely sometime within the next week. His college season at Michigan officially came to an end here on the weekend, and he signed his pro contract here this evening with the Vancouver Canucks. So the Quinn Hughes era in Vancouver is about to begin. Now, there was a little bit of an injury scare here in the past couple of days where he suffered a foot injury after blocking a shot. It wasn't quite known exactly what the damage was, but apparently there are no real long-term concerns. It's probably nothing more than soreness or a bruise or something, so it's nothing that really is going to keep him out for any extended period of time. And it's not quite clear exactly when he's going to make his debut here just yet, but it most likely should be sometime here within the next week or so. Now, Quinn Hughes likely won't suit up for every one of the final Canuck games here between now and the end of the season. He has signed a 3-year entry-level contract, and reports indicate that the Canucks seem quite content to let him play enough games to burn off 1 year of that contract here this season, leaving 2 more. However, if he plays more than 10 games this season, it will be considered a full pro season when it comes time for the Seattle expansion draft in a couple years' time, where they're expected to begin play here in 2021. And so obviously first and second year players are exempt from the expansion draft. So if he were to go over and play an 11th game or more this year, plus next year and the year after, he would be considered to have 3 pro seasons under his belt before the expansion draft, and he would have to be one of the protected players, which obviously they would definitely go to do. But the more players that are going to be exempt from the draft, the better, allowing the Canucks to protect more assets and keep more of their players intact here for the future, especially where that's still a couple years out. The Canucks have a lot of good young players, many of which will need to be protected at that expansion draft, given that they're going to have too much experience by the time that we get there. Now, of course, we've seen a nice group of young forwards develop in Vancouver. We got Bo Horvat, who's certainly likely their future captain, still relatively young. You've got Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser. You got some great goaltending prospects as well, in Thatcher Demko and Michael DiPietro on the way. And now we finally get to see the debut in the NHL of star defenseman Quinn Hughes, who went number 7 overall in the 2018 NHL Draft. In his first season at Michigan, he put up 29 points in 37 games, which was before he was drafted. And then this past season, which just came to an end, he ended up with just over a point per game at 33 points in 32 games, which is an absolutely fantastic, very impressive numbers. Quinn Hughes has also made appearances for Team USA the past 2 World Junior Championships. Has looked real solid as well in that high caliber tournament. I mean, Quinn Hughes is an absolutely dynamic skater, a really smart player, has incredible vision, and is expected to likely become their power play quarterback sometime in the near future here when he's ready. So certainly a very exciting time for Canucks fans. Certainly excited to see him make his debut, and obviously, but at the same time, you need to be patient here. Obviously, the defensive side of the game is going to be the area that's likely going to need the most work early on, which is very common with young defenders. With Quinn Hughes not being an overly big defenseman, as much as his offensive side of the game is incredibly impressive, the defensive side of the game is going to be the area that he's going to need to focus on most in the first few years, especially as he develops into a regular NHL defenseman. So I do urge Canucks fans to be patient on the defensive side of the game, but enjoy the offensive output, because that's likely going to translate quickly, and you should be able to see the offensive flair here almost immediately. Keep in mind as well that Rasmus Dahlin's having an incredible rookie season, and also his first month in the NHL started off a little bit slow as well. No matter how good a player some of these kids are coming into the NHL, they certainly do need an adjustment period, and it is a big leap whether they're coming from college hockey, junior hockey, or whatever, going to the NHL. It's a major step forward. There's certainly a learning curve and a major adjustment phase. So certainly patience are required, but it's also very exciting as well to see what he can handle. And next year, I would imagine he's going to be a major threat when it comes to the Calder Trophy. I know for a big chunk of early on in the season, the Canucks were in the playoff hunt. Obviously, they've gone through a bit of a skid here as of late and fallen out of contention. I believe they're about 9 points back of the wildcard spot as of the recording of this video. So the playoffs more than likely aren't going to happen, but you know what? That's probably for the best. It just means that Canucks are going to have another fairly high first-round draft pick to add yet another great top prospect into the mix that they already have here, with a lot of great young forwards, defensemen, a couple of solid prospect goaltenders as well. This Canucks team should be extremely solid here in the next few years, and they really should be a major threat to be reckoned with in the not too distant future. So Canucks fans especially, let me know how excited you are for the Quinn Hughes era to begin in Vancouver, and I can't wait to see what he's capable of doing here. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.